Hi, everybody. My name is Listen. I'm the head of marketing over here at Headliner, and today I'm going to be walking you through the latest and greatest update we have regarding Eddy. So, what the update is Eddy's podcast promo pack now allows you to regenerate its AI output. So, this is going to affect all assets, and this allows you to better tailor Eddy's AI output to match your podcasting style. So, without further ado, let's just jump right into it and actually walk through the product and show you how this update looks. So to get started, you'll first need to log into your Headliner account. You can do so by visiting make.headliner.app and clicking that pink transcribe button, or how I've done it shown on the screen here is just by visiting eddy.headliner.app. And again, Eddy is a completely free tool for all podcasters to use, and the login information is going to be the same as your existing Headliner account. So getting started, you'll first need to upload a file into Eddy. So I'm just going to use an existing recording from the Headliner podcast. And what I did here is I just clicked the podcast search button, and this is going to allow me to search for any podcast that has an RSS feed. However, I'm just going to be using the Headliner podcast, and I'm going to go ahead and make all of my marketing assets and go ahead and transcribe our latest episode, which would be the Headliner Pod No Chaos episode. So I'll go ahead and select that. And then from here, I'm going to start walking through that actual upload process. So first things first is I'm going to select our language. We record in US English. However, you can choose from 14 other options within your actual transcription. And from here, I'm going to actually start walking through the Eddy upload process that's going to affect the AI output. So you can see here we've got a couple of different levers, and the first one's going to be naming your project. So what happens with the name your project function is Eddy is going to automatically try and give you 5 different SEO optimized title names that are actually relevant to what is reflected in that transcript. And again, because you actually selected your podcast in that first step, what Eddy's going to do, it's actually going to use your RSS feed in that metadata and look back at your past works and see, okay, how can I mirror and iterate off of this success? So Eddy, all of this output you see here is really going to try and mimic your style and the tone that you've already established for your podcast. So again, naming your project, I want this. Not only is it going to actually give you 5 different titles, it's actually going to go ahead and name the file download. So this is going to affect if you're downloading an audiogram, a video file, or if you're just downloading that transcript as well, it's automatically going to give you an SEO optimized file name that's going to, again, kind of give you a little bit of boost in that actual searchability and discoverability on the web. Next is going to be adding chapters to your project. So Eddy is going to go ahead and insert those chapters, and that's going to be reflected in the show notes with the timestamps as well. Again, going to try and actually match that existing style, tone, and formatting that you've already established for your podcast. The next thing that Eddy's AI is going to do, automatically remove those filler words, so those uhs, ums, all those unwanted things. If you find yourself saying anything over and over again that you don't necessarily love as well, you can also bulk edit and remove that word as well. So you can, in a sense, kind of create your own custom filler word bank and have our AI scrub that out of not only the transcript, but also the corresponding audio or video file that you've uploaded into Eddy. And last but certainly not least is going to be, in my opinion, the best thing about Eddy, which is going to be that podcast promo pack. So by turning this toggle on, you're actually going to signify to Eddy that you want your podcast promo pack and that you're actually going to want it to kind of, again, mimic your existing brand style and tone, all of those wonderful things that make your podcast your podcast. So again, I'm going to leave all of these on, truck forward with continue to settings. I'm not going to make you sit through the transcription process. You see it's already halfway done, and I'm just going to go ahead and select an existing one that I've already done. And then from here, I'm going to start actually showing you how you can go ahead and adjust everything within the podcast promo pack. So whenever you first click on a project, you'll see this little pop-up, and that will either direct you to your podcast promo pack, or you can fly it away if you're editing. You don't really want to think about marketing your podcast at this time. Totally get it. Theoretically, if you wanted to get it from another spot, totally can. Just click that export button and then view your podcast promo pack. And now here's where Eddy's AI is going to start coming into play. So as you can see here, we've got all sorts of wonderful assets that podcasters can use. So we've got show notes, episode art, keywords, social captions, quotes, references, newsletter, and blog copy as well. In the past, again, everything has been as branded as it can be, just looking at your RSS feed. But now you actually have the ability to go in and kind of edit these further and really kind of fine tune Eddy's output, and then also continuously train Eddy on how you want it to work for you in the future. So hopefully, as you continue to use Eddy and continue to make these changes in the actual UI, and then again, when you're uploading your podcast, Eddy's going to notice those differences, and it's really going to try and think, okay, how can I work even better for them? And you'll see that Eddy's output gets better over time. So to demonstrate this, I clicked on show notes because that's what I want to go ahead and edit first. So we can see here that Eddy, it's done a pretty good job of how I would normally format our podcast. So we've got a short little intro. I always have the featured podcast mentioned, and then jumping into those chapters with all of the lovely timestamps, and then a cute little exit outro, and then of course, always giving a shout out to Headliner at the bottom there. But this update is actually adjusting it. So while I do like it, I do think it could better. So I'm going to go ahead and adjust it. I personally think the length of everything could be a little bit shorter. So the first thing that you can do is you can adjust the length. So by clicking this drop-down arrow, you tell Eddy to keep it as is, make it shorter, make it longer, your choice. Like I said, I want to do shorter, so go ahead and change that. And then from here, you can also kind of dictate how the tone is going to be conveyed. So if you want to be pretty neutral, so how I'm speaking right now, you can as well. You can make it a lot more formal. So if you're more of like a history podcast or more factually based, you can absolutely change the formality level of it. Or you could be how Headliner is. You know, we think we're fun, or at least we think we're funny, and we're pretty chill. So I'll probably go ahead and want Eddy's output to try and match that. So I'm going to change my formality to casual as well. And then again, you're going to have three options to change that tone. So you can make it pretty direct, and that's going to really just try and cut out as many of those adjectives as possible and just really have a very concise message for you. You can make it a little bit more empathetic. So if you want some more emotion conveyed in your tone, you're very excited about something, or you're speaking about a rather heavy topic, you can 100% have a little bit more of an empathetic tone, and that will kind of cue to Eddy to maybe think about how it's going to be describing things and wording some of those sentences. I, however, again, so thinking about Headliner and our branding, we think we're pretty funny, so I'll probably have a little bit of a witty tone. I like to see what the AI does here. And then again, you're going to have an additional lever to pull here. If you don't want your episode chapters in there, leave that button unclicked. However, I want them. So I'm going to go ahead and click it and check it. And now it's going to go ahead and regenerate those assets. And depending on the length and how many edits that you made, this can kind of increase the time. Overall, Eddy's pretty quick about getting these changes implemented and working on getting everything done for you. However, if you don't want to look at a loading screen, you're welcome to go to a different tab, or you can go ahead and adjust multiple things at once. So we see that Eddy's already done here. So I'm going to go ahead and look through, and we can see that, yeah, Eddy did a great job. We see get ready to press play on a wild ride with the Headliner podcast. So again, it's making it a little bit more casual, a little bit more witty. Will they nail it or get stumped? Dose of mayhem, all sorts of things. Eddy really did a good job about trying to kind of look at our RSS feed and parse that against its output, and then also take the feedback that I gave it and kind of marry those two together to make, in my opinion, a very usable show notes. I'll definitely be using this for our next podcast. And so if I want to, I can go ahead and copy all this over and go ahead and jump on over into our host dashboard, get this completely uploaded, YouTube, wherever I want to go ahead and use my show notes. And then again, you can go ahead and change all sorts of different things. So I always think the episode art is definitely so fun. Eddy, it does look at your branding, so it's going to notice the colors that are going to be associated within your podcast art that's attached to your RSS feed. So again, we're headliners, so we have all sorts of fun colors normally. Those pink, blue, purple gradients, all sorts of things. So thinking about our podcast, we are a group of people and we're recording on Zoom for our podcast. So I could go ahead and kind of describe it so we see that this image would be a pretty good one for me to go ahead and use, but I want to go ahead and make something a little bit different. So let's say that Eddy, I don't know, let's say that we talked about dogs and coffee on our podcast. So I want to tell Eddy to go ahead and make a visual that would include a dog drinking coffee. So I am going to go ahead and describe that. Create an image of a dog drinking coffee. And I like those colors, so I'm also going to tell Eddy to use that same color palette. Use the same color palette. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and click that regeneration button, and I'm going to go ahead and hop to a different part of the promo pack. And while that's regenerating the background, go ahead, just kind of look everything over. And I think our keywords are great. However, our social captions, I'm going to change these up a little bit. I say, again, I want them to kind of match what I did to the actual show notes too, right? So go ahead and shorten it, make it casual, make it witty, regenerate, and then the changes that I've made will also, I want to have that reflected into our newsletter copy. So this is something that I could send out to all of our listeners that are subscribed or people that have sent in their emails saying, I just love the Headliner podcast so much. I want to know what you guys are up to. Please send me a newsletter, right? So I'm going to go ahead and adjust that as well. Shorter, casual, and witty, and regenerate. And those are all the assets that I want to go ahead and regenerate at the moment. So again, while it's processing, let's go check on and see if anything else is ready for us as well. Yep. Okay, so it looks like we have our episode art. So we have 4 images using that same color palette of a dog drinking coffee. We can see that there's kind of 3 different styles that seem to have merged. These 2 look pretty similar to me, just a different type of dog. This one's a little bit more geometric, and this one's just very purple, I would say. I honestly think this one's pretty funny. It's got like the steam of the coffee and everything. I'm going to go ahead and use that one. I love that picture. So I'll go ahead and download that. And then again, what else did I change? Social captions. Yep. So we see again, think you know podcasts, prove it. Eddy's really trying to make it as fun as it can and get pretty witty. Got a killer podcast ear. So again, kind of nodding to the little games that we like to play with the Headliner Pod. I think these social captions are pretty on the nose. They're definitely shorter. They're definitely more casual, and they are definitely wittier in style and tone than Eddy's original output was. And then I also changed the newsletter copy. Yeah, so we can see here, it's definitely shorter. I don't have to scroll anymore. Everything's going to fit completely in my browser right now. Again, shorter, more casual, witty. I truly think that Eddy did a great job trying, dive into the episode now and join the podcast gods. That's definitely going to be quoted and used in our marketing materials for our upcoming episode, because I think that's so funny. But again, that is the update. That is Eddy's podcast promo pack. Again, Eddy is totally free for all podcasters to use. Just use your existing Headliner login, visit make.headliner.app and click that pink transcription button, or visit eddy.headliner.app. Check us out on our website. All sorts of ways for you to find and try out Eddy. And as always, if you have any questions or anything, you are more than welcome to email us at support@headliner.app. We are very responsive, love hearing from you all. Also, feel free to drop comments below, reach out. Would love to hear your thoughts. And if you have any more feedback on how we can make this update and make Eddy as great and as useful to all podcasters as possible. So thank you again, everybody, so much. And as always, happy podcasting.